Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, absolutely. We had a really good hit out on Tuesday. I think you guys are there and sharpened up a few things and energies around. So we just got to convert that now into executing our game plan and hitting the scoreboard.
Have those lessons of the past been learnt?
We'll find out tomorrow night. Yeah, I think so. I think 2 completely different years. Last year, obviously heading into a final series that a lot of players hadn't played in, and we've experienced it. We understand what it takes and what the occasion's going to be like. So I feel like we're really well prepared. We only played Richmond probably a month and a half ago with the compression of the game, so we have a good understanding of how they play. They obviously understand how we play, but if we can execute for longer and they make you play for longer, then I think we'll be okay.
The Fags made a bit of a point the other day that your goal kicking's been significantly improved in the last 4 weeks. How hard has the team been working on the goal kicking?
Yeah, well, for a long time, it's we were probably a little bit inaccurate last year. It's about to fall. But I know one thing that this group does really well, if there's an area that needs to be fixed up, they work on it extremely hard, and boys have put hours of practice into it over the past, not just month, but the past 3 months, and there was probably a little bit of a teething period there where we just weren't executing, but I think the last month shows that our accuracy's certainly gone up. I think we're in the top 4 at the moment for goal kicking accuracy over the past month, so that's slowly coming to the forefront, and confident the boys can get the job done tomorrow night.
For the set shots, you will get reminded of it, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Richmond were in the exact same position, I'm sure we would be letting them know as well. So we've expected that, we're trained for that. We just need to go back, execute our routine. All the boys are very confident in what they've chosen in their routine, and now it's just going back, forgetting what's happened in the past and just sticking to it, focus on the process, not the result.
So you've trained for a bit of the sledging, have you?
Yeah, we've been throwing a little bit of lip on the mark, which I think it probably comes even harder when it's your teammates throwing it at you. You can get a little bit more personal, and the boys have responded really well to that. So we'll just see what happens, but really confident that they've done the work now.
A big difference from when you played them on the coast. We'll have 25,000 fans for this game, so it's been a while since you've been able to play in front of a big crowd. It's probably the last time you played in front of a big crowd here in the Gabba was last year. Finals.
Yeah, it's awesome that obviously the Queensland government and the AFL have come to an agreement that we can have 25,000 people back at the stadiums. I think Queensland's done a fantastic job with COVID and obviously helping the AFL resume this year. So the fact that we've been rewarded with having 25,000 people here and the fans can come and enjoy it, and I think that's just going to be a fantastic spectacle, and really looking forward to that.
How do you stop Dustin Martin? No team's been able to stop him in finals for 4 years, and you guys have had troubles with him home and away as well. What do you have to do this time differently?
He's a very difficult player to stop. Obviously, he's very classy. He's been a great player for a number of years. Last year, we actually did a really good job on him. He actually had to go forward, and then he ended up kicking 5 goals. We probably didn't plan for that, so we've planned a little bit harder this time in all different scenarios. So, we still back our whole team defence to get the job done on him. They do the exact same. It's two systems going at each other. We're not really worried about the individuals, but obviously he's someone that can change the game very quickly, so we need to be mindful of that, and we'll have plans in place for that.
So the challenge him mid and forward is obviously the challenge of how to handle both scenarios. You've detailed all those things a bit better this time, do you feel? Yeah,
well, there's no certain matchup for that, but we're confident in our team systems that we can get the job done this time. As we said, he's a very important player for them, both forward and mid, and we need to be prepared for that, and I think we are.
Zork, we know the record, the 15 straight losses. You've been here for a lot of them.
All of them?
Yeah, I think you're 11.
Am I?
Played them 11 times. Are you personally sick of losing to them?
Oh, everyone, you don't want to lose, but I feel like we're getting closer, and what better opportunity we have tomorrow night than to reverse that. And I think the record was Dustin and Cochin have never lost to the Lions as well, so that's fantastic for them. But we're no doubt going to be executing our game plan. We haven't really spoken about that this week. We can only really focus on what we can control, and we've mentioned those things as it is already. So we're not really worried about what the past results have been.
Does Tom Lynch being out make much of a difference to what you do?
No, not one bit. Marby or Chol will come in for them, I would presume. He's come in and filled in for them a number of times this year. He played really well against us last time we played them this year, so I don't think they've run a system as well, similar to what we do, so I can't see that being too much of an influence for them.
You don't do much of the captain's runs, but Harris look all right out there?
Yeah, he looked fine. The big Chief's been ready to go for a while. Hopefully he gets picked. Not sure if the team's coming out yet, but it'd be nice to see him out there.
I think Fags would be brave to overlook him if he's fit, right?
He'd be a brave man holding him back, I reckon. Yeah, look, providing the teams are already out, he'll come in and hopefully do a really big job for us. I think Jack Payne's done a fantastic job since he's been an inclusion into our side. We obviously thought, we're obviously hoping that Jack could come in and do a really big role for us, and he was able to do that over the past month. So to have Harris hopefully come back in, which I'm pretty confident he will certainly bolster that defence line.
You've had a habit of accidentally leaking the team in recent weeks.
I thought it was already out, mate.
One of the keys, I suppose, this year is Birchall's there. How big an influence can he be?
Well, I guess when Hodgie came up, it was sort of two really completely different roles. Hodgie's obviously a really strong verbal leader, and as well as his actions, he does that really well. But his ability to help set up our defence was extraordinary, and I think what Grant's actually come and been able to do is help us with our ball movement and still be able to set up behind the ball really well, but not necessarily have that arching theme of leadership. He just does it more with his actions, and I think he's been able to come in and fill a really big hole for us and been able to help us move the ball a lot better without coming in and, you know, pretty much seamlessly fit in, which has been really, really strong on his behalf. And, you know, his leadership off field's actually been really strong as well. And most people probably just think he's there in the team as a rebounding half backer, but what he's been able to help add to that back line, offline and not necessarily on the field, has been really good for our small half backers in Brendan Starcevic, Noah Answorth, Alex Witherden, and he's even been able to help Richie out in a few things. So he's been amazing for us.
Slade said the other day that the growth of the guys on the sort of 15 to 25 in your list is probably the big difference from this time last year. Is that something that you agree with? Is it the guys, the Starcevics and them that have come through and they're 1 year better than they were last time?
Yeah, they've certainly elevated their games. I think those guys you just mentioned have had fantastic years. They'll certainly be better for you know, the experience of last year. But then you got Hugh and Jared, who have also had really great years and have taken their game to a next level. And then you've got obviously Lockie, who's been able to elevate his game to a whole new level. And I think with Steph unfortunately being out, we've seen the best of Oscar McInerney as well. So there's been a lot of guys around that 50 to 100 game mark that have really stepped up this year and you know, continued to improve on their game, which has been a theme that Fags has implemented since he's been at the club.
And the CEO yesterday was saying how the Lions are the last Queensland club in any code, anything, you know, what's that, footy codes, to be alive and once in a lifetime chance to play, you know, decider in the Gabba. Does that just add to the pressure and sort of expectation? Like, sort of how do the players feel?
No pressure, no expectation on that. You know, we've worked extremely hard for the past 4 years to put ourselves in a position like this. So we haven't really spoken about, you know, being the last Queensland team or, you know, what could potentially be in a month's time. We've only really solely focused on what's going to happen tomorrow night and, you know, executing our plan as well as we possibly can and getting a result there. Yeah.
We've seen all year teams, every player struggling with the yellow footies at night in slippery conditions. We were
Have we?
training yesterday and they had the game day balls. They've been given the kick in.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys been kicking in the footies?
No, we haven't. No, all the footies have been like that all year. I haven't really noticed it being too much of an issue. I think the only problem is now that the game's been in Queensland a lot more, you've seen the dew and probably a fair bit of sweat come off the players because it's so humid. That's only really been the only change for us, but we experienced that all throughout summer, and I guess it's probably new a little bit to Victorian teams, but certainly not really new to us, no.